I know, I've been MIA for so long. I was literally integrating a lot of emotions. I was integrating a lot of energies that literally catapulted me into a timeline change. So this message, just this channeled message, is going to be about a timeline change, or a very divine almost push, like a push, or I don't know how to describe it honestly. It is a timeline change. I have been sitting with this energy for so long. Like, I've been sitting with this energy for days now, literally for days. And I think I processed this by letting my intuition guide me wherever it wanted me to go. I traveled. I wouldn't say traveled as in traveled through a plane, or I went a little far off. I crossed the waters, I crossed the seas using a train, so that was quite a lot of distance for me. But the point is that I think travel is very significant. So I think if you have traveled in some sort of physical way, or if not physically, if you feel like if you weren't able to travel physically, but you wanted to, or you're about to, or you have already, and especially if you feel like your soul has traveled, then this message is going to be for you. I think this timeline shift was almost pretty overnight. If not overnight, I think the grounds were rumbling, the grounds were shaking, the earth was shaking before this timeline shift happened. Before anything could have happened, I feel like you felt it happening. You felt the need for change. You felt the need to no longer stay where you are, and you felt that things were gonna happen. Or you felt that, yeah, I am being called towards something and I need to go there. And boom, timeline change. I'm getting a sense that this timeline change wasn't just something that was divinely orchestrated. I'm getting a sense as if you created this timeline change with the divine. You co-created this timeline change with the divine source. You decided that you no longer wanted to be a part of whatever you were a part of, and you orchestrated and you took the energy in your own hands. I'm seeing like you are sitting, I'm kind of seeing like an apothecary, with all the herbs around you, and kind of like a witch's kitchen, like a witchin. People call it a witchin. I heard that term a few days ago. I'm kind of seeing that, and you're on a table with the divine sitting right next to you. Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? So Howl's Moving Castle, you know how Howl's kitchen looks like, right? There's a lot of herbs and stuff like that. Howl's a wizard. And so he has a table that has a lot of herbs on it. Yeah, I know it's messy, but the one I'm seeing in my head is not messy. It's pretty well organized. So it's like you are sitting here, and the divine source, God, universe, however you want to call it, is sitting next to you. And you both have this jar or some form of ball of energy in front of you, and you both are working together. You both have hands on it, and you both are working to create that. So this was a timeline change that you orchestrated for yourself with the divine, with the, I heard divine union, with the in union with the divine. Yeah. But you know what? After doing this, I feel like you probably did not feel it intensely in that moment, but after you realized how things started changing, I'm getting that you got a proof. You were given a proof that yes, your timeline has changed. This could have been in the form of you fearing an outcome because you have always expected some things to go a certain way. And so when this thing was given to you, you expected it to go a certain way, and you were filled with fear and anxiety. And when you went towards it, when you decided to be brave, and I feel like you were guided to have trust, and despite having trust, your past version that was still clinging on to you wouldn't want to move, wouldn't want to accept that yes, things are going to be different now in this timeline change, that things are going to look different, things are not going to look the way they used to look, that now it's time and it's okay. Hey, it's okay. Like, your past self cannot understand that. that things are gonna get better. The better it gets, the better it gets. Your past self wouldn't understand that. So I feel like when you were given this opportunity to literally test, or to be given proof that, oh look, it's changed, everything's changed for you, I feel like in that moment you really couldn't quite grasp it. And it only hit you when you approached this with a brave heart and you said, okay, let's see what could happen, what could go wrong. I have trust, we can do this. You did it, and you received a reaction, or you received something in return that was completely opposite to what you were expecting. So you might have gotten a proof of some kind, okay, through this. What I'm also the message, one of the biggest messages, right, that has got to do with this timeline change, is that I feel like this is kind of a rough boat to be in, because you recently just did a timeline shift. You recently just, oh, you know what they're showing me? Okay, so when I was traveling on the using the train, you might call it a tube, we call it the sky train here. So when I was on the sky train and I was like looking outside, and then you cross the bridge, so there is water underneath. It's a lake, I think it's a river, I don't know. And when I was getting back home after having a really good time, okay, I was downtown. I was it just dawned upon me that I'm about to, like, the place I went to transformed me just within a few hours. I had experiences within a few hours that completely changed me. I made great memories, I made great moments, I experienced amazing moments. And within those few hours, everything kind of shifted for me. Life looked a little different for me. So when I was coming back home and I was on the SkyTrain and I had the opportunity to have a really good view outside, I was sitting at a spot where the window was pretty huge and I could see everything pretty well. I could see the river, I could see the water. I told myself in that moment that this is it. As soon as I cross over, I'm leaving behind everything from my past that no longer resonates with me, that no longer works for me, and I'm moving ahead. So the moment I cross the waters, the moment I reach my hometown, not hometown specifically, the moment I reach my city, I am leaving behind a version of myself that no longer exists, or that no longer resonates with me. And I think in that moment, I kind of also closed my eyes and I imagined like black smoke leaving out of me, like in speed, like I'm moving forward and the black smoke just stays, kind of how they show it in the cartoons, that you're moving, so whatever was left behind is just like, it's smoke coming off, like you're moving at the speed and then you just left behind a big, how, okay, wait, oh, how do I explain this? Jet planes, right? So they're moving and then they leave behind the smoke, that kind of thing. So the smoke is still there where once the plane was, but the plane is gone ahead. I have no idea why I wanted to express that elaborately, but maybe that is very significant. The idea of leaving behind things where they are, where you once were, and like moving to a different place. You might have moved countries, you might have moved homes, you might have moved jobs, you might have done something, or you might have taken yourself from a state, an energetic state of existence, and you moved yourself. So this is a very special energy to be in. And this isn't the first time you've done this. These kind of timeline jumps, they keep coming. But I feel like there is something special about each timeline jump that comes in. There is something special, something magical, something that is much grander in scheme than the last timeline jump. And I feel like even though timeline jumps keep happening, I feel like it is these really huge timeline jumps that really matter the most, because this is where you physically can see a change overnight. You expect something to go a certain way, but it's like things just shifted, people shifted, your reality shifted. What I also wanted to talk about was, yeah, as I said, so this is a rough boat to be in, right? It's a new reality. You're taking time to process how things work. What I got, or what I have been noticing very strongly, is this idea that you need to what the divine wants out of you is for you to trust a little more deeper in this timeline shift. See, because the moment you left your past self, you're kind of in this dysregulated or in this very chaotic state where your new version, your new reality doesn't know how to behave in this new reality without the toolbox or without the guidebook of your past self. And what's happening is that because you also let go of your past self, you let go of a very important tube. I keep hearing the word tube, but I'm hearing kind of like an attachment, a cord attachment, an idea that was attached to you, or a habit that was attached to you. So you also left that habit away, and because you left that habit away, you're left with this empty space, and so your body is like, wait, no, I used to react that way, I need to react that way again. But you're being called towards abandoning is a very negative word, I don't want to use that word, but that word keeps coming up to me. Maybe some of you guys too have abandoned wounds. My cat is literally stomping on my pillow right now. Okay, that was out of nowhere. So yeah, what you're being asked to do in this moment is that you gotta trust yourself a little more deeper. You gotta trust that the universe has your back. I feel like this sudden change kind of skyrocketed. I heard the word skyrocketed to you. But what I was trying to say was that it kind of shook your ship, you know? It made your foundations shake quite a lot. Like the earth shook, as I said in the beginning of this video. And that really had you confused. That really had you chaotic or feeling dysregulated or feeling overwhelmed for a moment or longer than a moment. And in this moment, I think you gotta remember that the universe always has your back. You have the hands of universe, you have your spirit team always on you, on your soul, always over you, like this, you know, like you're underneath and they always have you protected like this. You always have to remember that, and you always, I feel like you need to approach each step in this new timeline change with the trust on universe, and especially with the trust within yourself that everything you do as this new version of yourself, guided by your intuition, guided by the spirit team, guided by the divine, is going to be the right decision. Everything that you do henceforth will be right because you are guided by your intuition. And I feel like you need to let yourself fall. I heard the word fallen. You gotta let yourself fall into trust with the divine. You know, one of the biggest or one of the most loudest doubts that I was catching on was, I feel like you have had this before or you have let go of this before, but it's like a cycle moment where this has come back to you again. It could be this, or maybe it's another thought process that has cycled back and you're like, wait, I've dealt with this before, why is it coming back? It's because you're gonna empty this vessel, your vessel, off of this thought as much as possible, how many ever times it's necessary, and divine will make you do it because it's so necessary for you to operate from, I heard a scheme, operate from a scheme. It's so necessary for you to operate from a state of divine light and love, where you who always have seen the world with the rose-colored glasses, or you who have always seen the world not on the basis of reality. Like, you know, people say be realistic. I was watching this movie yesterday and it was a sign for me because I was watching Wish Dragon, and everybody kept telling Din that the guy was called Din. They kept telling Din that be realistic. But that guy was never realistic. He always dreamt beyond realistic. He always gave space for his dreams. He always kept space for that. And which is exactly why, look, he got the dragon, he got the wish dragon, because he was somebody who never compromised, or who never compromised with reality, or who never what is that word? Collaborated, or no, cooperated. He never cooperated with reality. He always wanted something, and he always went for it. He always dreamt of it. So you, the person who has always seen the world with road colored. That's a road trip. Go on a road trip, I guess, or you maybe went on a road trip. I don't know. Wait, before I continue, I also saw spirals, or the spiral staircases. That was very significant. So yeah. Oh shit. Sorry. I did get my tarot, but I was like, maybe I'm not gonna need it because I just wanted to flow with the flow. Go with the flow and see where the message takes me. Because I already have been processing this information for so long, and I just wanted to say it out however it comes and however it falls. Yeah. So you, who has always seen this world in a certain way, you need to continue doing that. There is a fear that or maybe this is how I feel like this is how the world is designed, right? This is how society is designed. This is how humanity has been designed, is that they always you always expect. I think this is human nature, that you always expect for the bad to happen. If things are going good, you expect something bad to happen, or you expect for something to go wrong, because then life wouldn't be life. I feel like for the longest time, I think everybody has, at least I know, this is how I was taught what life is by my parents, because that is how they perceive life. This is how everybody perceives life. And this is how I myself perceived life, to be something that is difficult. There has to be difficulty, there has to be pain. Yeah, there has to be. I'm not saying no. But what if that pain could come in a very joyous manner? Are you rolling with me? Like, do you get what I mean? I think because people expect bad to happen to them, bad that is not in harmony for their highest good, bad that is not good for them, that is not going to end up in growth. People always expect something to go wrong when things are going right with them. And I think because of this exact thought process, we manifest a life which has problems. And then we keep feeding this illusion that life has to be painful, or that life has to be difficult. But what if you change that idea? Oh, sorry. My face is ticklish. And what if you change that idea and you say, what if life is better? The better it gets, the better it gets. What if life is always going to be better for me? Yes, sometimes there will be ups and downs. Yes, sometimes there is going to be pain. There is going to be some form of heartbreak, maybe. But it will be in the most joyous manner, and it will be for my growth. Because after that, there will be more happiness. There will be more growth. It will not leave me stranded in pain. It will not make me regress. It will not put me or push me down to a point so low that I wouldn't wish upon any enemy. But we have a tendency to expect the wrong. You know what you're being asked to do in this whole timeline change? Is to change what you expect. We expect things, and we expect certain things, and they're always wrong things. At the back of our mind, or like in our subconscious mind, the way we are wired, the way we are brought up, the way we are taught, everything speaks of this, and everything reaffirms the idea that life is supposed to be hard, or that life is supposed to be a certain way. It has to come with pain, or it is not life. Has to come with heartbreak, or it is not life. Oh, why haven't things gone the wrong way? Because wait a minute, you guys, I'm getting a call. Yeah, so I was talking about how life is supposed to, we all have an idea about how it's supposed to go because you were taught that way. But spirit, divine source wants you to actually abandon that thought process as you transition into this new stage. You already have, because you can see it in your physical reality that, yeah, things have changed. But you wouldn't be able to ease into your timeline change, into your reality, into this new reality, unless you completely let go. What is that? Oh my god, those electrical cars, it sounded like as if I felt like we were getting invaded by aliens. Why does it sound like that? Oh, no wonder I don't prefer them. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of electrical cars unless it's a hybrid car. It makes me mad for some reason. It just looks weird. I don't think I needed this. But just for the sake of magic, because I love it so much, I want to do one card at least. Just one card. Just to see what we get, what is it about, any tip, any advice, anything. We do have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, okay? Which, again, change the expectations. This just speaks for itself, okay? I'm just gonna get it out though, because Wheel of Fortune is the perfect way to describe this energy of wanting to leave behind and abandon this expectation that you've always lived in and change your expectations. If you are capable of using your brains to think of the wrong, think of the bad, think of the negative, that same brain is capable of thinking of the positive. Remember that. Okay, universe. No way I split the deck and we have the Lovers. I'm so tempted to say that you might have a person coming in, because I do sense that for like this collective. There it's always there. It's always there. I cannot help it. This collective, there is someone orbiting you and you know that. So I just cannot help it. I cannot be like, oh, there's no one. There's always somebody, and their energy somehow always shows up in each and every reading. So yeah, but at the same time, considering this card at the back of the deck, what I want to say is that this feels like you giving yourself the chance, a second chance, or you giving yourself a chance at life. You giving yourself a chance to change things for the good, for the better, and you are giving this to yourself. See, it's come back at the back. I mean, it's come again at the back of this deck. I shuffled it, but it's here again. You giving yourself a chance to live a better life. The life that you've always wanted, and that wouldn't be possible unless you take the chance of changing the way you behave, or literally take the chance on this timeline change. Okay, God. Oh, okay. That flew out. High Priestess. What is this about? Y'all, I don't know. Every time the High Priest shows up, I mean, for me, the alphabet J is very significant. So every time that the High Priestess shows up, my eye just travels to the alphabet J. Could be someone's initials. Though I know whose initials it is, it's significant. I don't want to... Wait a minute, you guys. Is this about a person? Like, we are getting an extra message, but yeah, this could be about a person. I feel... Oh, okay. Oh, I know what this is about. Oh my god. See, we always have... Yeah, oh my god. I just smudged my lipstick, didn't I? Shit. I don't know what to say sometimes. At the way things just come up in this reading, don't mind me overreacting or being dramatic, because sometimes I know what I sense inside. I know what I'm seeing. I know how the messages come to me. So when that happens, I go all, ugh. That happens to me. Okay, the last message that I want to end this reading with. You will have a person coming in to assist you, to just make things better for you. I feel like not because you're not capable, but the addition of this person in your life, the joining hands of this person with you joining hands with them. It's like the divine is sending you someone to make it all easier, or to make it more blissful, to make this new reality more blissful, to make every other timeline jump after this, to make every other shift, to make every other phase of letting go, phase of heartbreak, phase of pain, phase of transmutation, phase of a phase of alchemization, every phase of your life, to make it better. And I feel like the only advice you have right now is to trust that you're being guided by the divine, and to trust your intuition in each step that you do, or in each step that you take. Invite the divine in. And even if you don't invite the divine in every step you do, or every step you take, the divine is already there. That's all. Intuition plays a big role in your life. And even if you feel that the divine is not answering your calls, or you're not seeing a lot of signs and things feel a little silent, it's because the divine wants you to trust yourself. Trust yourself. And I was feeling this so strongly before I started this reading, that why do I feel like there's someone coming in? Or like, why do I feel this need that I need someone to make things better for me when I am very much capable of doing it myself? Like, how is the addition of a person gonna make this better? But this is what it is. Stick to the end and find out. You're gonna find out. Because there will be somebody, right, who will be sent. And they're gonna make things better. Quite a lot. They're gonna make a lot of things better for you. Okay. And my cat decides to show up now at the end of this reading. If you decided to show up a little earlier, I would have asked you to choose the cards, but you did not. So, okay, you guys. Bye-bye. Wait, no, this hand. Bye-bye. Take care.